Morning. Happy coffee talk. It's Thursday morning. My house is quiet today because it's Veterans Day, so the kids haven't gotten up yet to go to school because there is no school. And my husband's home from work, so I just chased him out. He's active duty. If you guys didn't know that, he's still active duty. I was active duty. And so he has today off, which is ironic because he's active duty, so he's not technically the veteran. I'm the veteran, but I'm still coaching today. But I guess that's by choice, so I can't be mad. And I guess he technically is a veteran too. He's just still active duty, so I joke that he's not a veteran yet. Um, but my house is quiet, and I'm on my second cup of coffee this morning, drinking out of my Polish pottery mug again. And I think he made Black Rifle coffee this morning. He made the coffee, which I'm not mad at. It was literally like a Folgers commercial this morning because I was waking up and laying in bed and I was like smelling coffee. And I was like, I need that every morning. And it was because he's home to make it. But I could do that for myself because our coffee pot has a timer. It's just a cheapo, $30 coffee pot. But the one feature it does have is a timer. So maybe I should do that. Maybe that's like a simple joy that I should have in the morning is like smelling coffee when I'm waking up. Isn't it? Do you guys remember the episode with of The Office where Michael Scott did that with bacon, and he set up his like bacon, stovetop in his bedroom so that he could wake up to the smell of bacon in the morning. And then he stepped on it and burned his feet. Ugh, I love The Office. It never gets old to me. And I always find like parallels in my life to it. But my coffee talk message actually, so behind me, if you're watching on the live version in the Facebook group, I have these two pink, they're called parallettes. They're basically like bars that are stable to the floor. So they're kind of like, if you're listening, they're like an arch. Gymnasts use these, yoga people use them. You can do push-ups on them, pull-ups. Some people do like inversion, so they actually like hold onto the bars and like flip their butt up in the air and do like handstands and craziness. I got them for just like miscellaneous use, right? For me, for the kids, for when I exercise outside with fitme friends, like all of that. These are like really travel friendly. They're, not like airplane travel, but vehicle travel. They're light and easy, like far easier than like taking some other craziness. So anyways, I got them and I was looking at them, thinking about them because they're still in my office. They're not going to be in here for long. But I was thinking, okay, well, while they're in here, I'll probably take a break every, hour and do 10 push-ups and 10 pull-ups on them. And then I thought to myself, wouldn't that be interesting if I just left them in here and just did that all the time? 10 push-ups, 10 pull-ups, something that doesn't feel like a big deal. I think my strength would change. So like, despite the fact that I'm doing a lot of like structured strength work right now, so I'm doing a workout that's, an hour long, 4 or 5 times a week that was written for me to help me get stronger. Having something right by my desk as like a cue to do something. So get up, do 10 push-ups. I have a feeling that would have a more significant overall impact on me than even the 1 hour that I'm spending in the gym. I think about this a lot in terms of like posture and also aches and pains. So when we've been sitting all day long, sometimes you have like hip pain, or maybe your shoulders are curled forward because you were on our phones all day. And so we have these positions that we are spending hours in. We're spending hours in these positions. And then when we try to get in a different position, like putting our arms straight overhead, or like laying back on an exercise ball and kind of letting our chest splay open, or getting down to the bottom of a squat, like your butt to your heels and being comfortable down there. And we're like, well, I can't do that position because it hurts. The reason we can't do those positions is because we don't spend any time there. We spend all of our time in a different position and then try to like hack our way or like freebie into these other positions that we want. Because it's like, oh, how to improve your squat? Here's a hack. Like, oh, how to improve your shoulder range? Like, here's another hack. It's not that the hacks are wrong. It's just that we are fighting against a losing battle of spending hours and hours and hours doing something that's exactly the opposite, and then spending 15 minutes on mobility or on stretching and thinking that it'll be enough. And it's similar with strength. It's like if we spend hours and hours like not using our body, and then we end up doing something, short. It's not that it's wrong. It's good. I actually think short is the way to go to start. I'm just pointing out something that I'm observing and thinking about, that if we want to feel like we are changing, we have to change where we spend time. How we spend our time physically has more of an impact on us than our little sessions, even though the little sessions have value. And the reason I'm telling you this is because as I'm looking at these parallel bars sitting next to my desk, I recognize how powerful it is to have small and repeatable things that you can do that might be like a little bit hard, but aren't like showstopper deal breakers. There's actually a trainer. He's more than a trainer. He's like a philosophical, body gym trainer guy, Charles Peliquin. And I'm pretty sure it's him. So if you are a fan or something and I get this wrong, don't come at me. But he has this whole philosophy behind training, actually, that you actually get a lot stronger by doing things at a easier level. So for example, like you could do 100 pull-ups, or not 100 pull-ups, Jesus. Say that you could go into the gym and maybe do, 3 sets of 5 pull-ups, assisted pull-ups, or, rows, but then you're really sore. So then tomorrow you can't do those rows. You got to wait a couple days and recover, and then you got to do them again. His philosophy is that we shouldn't do that. His philosophy is that it would be better to do like 2 or 3 rows in the morning and then come back around lunchtime and do 2 or 3 rows, and then come back around dinner time and then do 2 or 3 rows, and then before bed do 2 or 3 more. And so in none of those like get you to that like failure point where you are so sore that you can't do anymore. You just did a bunch, and then tomorrow do the same thing. And then the next day do the same thing, but maybe like one more. And so you're never like getting to that zone where you get to be hardcore and be like, oh my God, I just did all of those things, like, and got to failure and I couldn't do even one more rep. So you kind of like forego the ego in order to do something easier but more consistently. And his whole philosophy in the training mind is that actually works better. And I think if you think about like applying that philosophy to what you want, that's a better philosophy. Like, so you can even apply that to food, to be honest. Like, think about it. If you go hardcore and you're like, I'm going to eat nothing but perfectly healthy food, and I'm going to eat perfect. I'm going to get, all of the right chicken and fish and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to have all these vegetables. I'm going to home make it myself. I'm going to drink water. I'm never going to have sugar again. I quit alcohol, all of that. That is like a full out go to failure situation where you might be able to do it for a couple days, but then you're going to stop because your whole essence is going to need to recover because you're going to be over it. And what might be better is to start to incorporate something that doesn't quite feel as hard, doesn't max you out 100%, and just do it consistently. And then once it's really easy, then just add to it. So maybe it's just adding vegetables to breakfast. And you're like, well, I can do that. I don't know about the rest of the day, but if all I have to do is add vegetables to breakfast, I can do that. And you stick with that. And then all of a sudden you start adding a glass of water to every meal that you eat. You're like, well, that's not too hard. I can do that. And you stick with it rather than go so hard that you can't recover from it and you can't continue. And then you just keep adding. What you do consistently is what changes you. So, doing 3 sets of 5 push-ups, like circling back to these parallettes that are sitting behind me, 3 sets of 5 push-ups is fine. It's not wrong. But having these guys sitting behind me and every single time I take a break, just knocking out 2 or 3, I'm going to be doing significantly more of them. And I won't even feel it compared to what I would have felt like doing it, in a like more organized or specific sense. And I will get stronger. So your takeaways from this coffee talk, because I know this is a big topic, but I think there's a couple takeaways here that you can put into action right now. One, I learned this from Greg McCowan's book, Effortless. Do not do today what you can't recover from tomorrow. If it's important, then you need to do it consistently. So if you go hard on whatever it is, so hard that you can't do anything tomorrow, you went too hard. Because it'd be better to be able to stay consistent than it would be to like go perfect and then stop. So that's takeaway number 1. Takeaway number 2 is if you are trying to create new positions in your life, then you need to spend time there. So spending time means slowly accumulating time there throughout your days. So set up little cues for yourself. So for example, like if you spend a ton of time at the computer and you are always sitting at the computer, well, then you've got to, and you don't like how your hips and back feel, then you've got to set up cues that help you spend time differently, because you won't be able to hack your way into feeling better into your hips and back. So that's my coffee talk message for today. I want you to think about what can you recover from and what kind of cues can you set in your day so that you can start spending time in the positions that you want to be in, and set them up throughout your real day, because the time accumulated there is what matters. So thanks for plugging in for Coffee Talk this morning. It really means a lot to me. Thank you so much for downloading these episodes, for listening. I love getting to connect with you each day. And if you haven't done so, then subscribe to Coffee Talk on your favorite podcast app and share it with a friend. So if you have a friend who you think would enjoy these episodes, let them know about it. I don't have a sponsor or anything. And so this kind of is the way that people find out about Coffee Talk, is just word of mouth. And if you haven't joined the fitme free intro Facebook group, then go to Facebook and search fitme free intro. What do we do there? We do diet-free and sustainable changes. So we show you how to make the changes to your nutrition, to your movement, how you talk to yourself. And it's a free way to get started with fitme. And plus it's a positive, encouraging, nice place to be. So come on over to fitme free intro, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.